Fnatic have once again managed to surpass expectations and fail to reach expectations in a different manner. We've seen them build 10,000 gold leads versus G2 in 15 minutes and then still somehow manage to lose games, get reverse swept. But today, they managed to get 3-0'd in a completely even, fair series that everyone thought would have been a banger. And I have some real opinions why. The number one reason is Upset. He's the worst player in Fnatic. I've thought that since they got him. I'm a huge Upset. I don't want to say hater. That's what other people might call me. Derider, truther, pragmatist, as you like to say. And I got the notes. I want to go into it. I want to detail game one, and then maybe I'll let you chip in with some of your fake opinions, okay? 2 minutes and 56 seconds in. Remember, this is his Callista. People have been scared to give him his Callista all year. I don't know why. I don't really believe in it. But as a team, they've been good around playing around him and that Callista. So, okay. But KC comes into this series with a game plan. We're going to give him the Callista game one, and we're going to match it with Draven. Mickey X finds a perfect engage onto Kalist. Kalist goes for an auto attack onto Upset. Mickey X flashes onto him. Upset auto attacks a minion rather than immediately follow up on that play. And Kalist lives by 20 HP. I feel, it is fair to say, it is 100% Upset's fault that you don't kill that Draven there. You don't get rid of his stacks. You don't get this Kalista snowballing. Mickey X is doing everything he can, who, by the way, I think is the best player in Fnatic and was really let down in this series. And then on Reddit, you go on Reddit, if you just read the post-game thread, who do you think is the reason Fnatic lost this series? Oh, it's Humanoid. He's the worst player. Humanoid. Oh, yeah, he's something resembling a human. Absolutely just insane. I don't even know who's spreading the propaganda. I don't know who's hating on Humanoid. But he bullies Huawei on a back. So Huawei wants to back, has no TP. He steps up as Victor, uses his ulti, cancels the back. So now he has a solo 10 CS lead. And then the first dragon is voluntarily given up by Fnatic because when Humanoid got this priority, it's around first dragon. Upset comes into lane, blows Kana Flash with Mickey X, and then they immediately back and run top, even though there's no rush. The wave has not hit the wave, nothing like that, and just give up the dragon. So you want to blame Humanoid, but if I'm solo canceling this guy's TP and getting us mid prio, how is it my fault as Humanoid that we can't get dragons? And how is it Razor's fault either? If your bot lane immediately backs, you have no priority. You can't do anything. Then, I'm looking at Humanoid blowing Vladdy Flash again, but he can't do anything with it because the bot lane, after they went top, they swapped back towards bot, so now you can't get the grubs. Not to mention that when they go top to try and dive Kana, Upset is late, and so then they end up having to blow Callista Flash. This is the second time they go top. He eats the Draven R, gets his back canceled, barriers because he's scared of a Nautilus cancel, still late to get back up top. So now you're late there, you're having to blow Callista ulti, now you're sacking grubs. Like every single thing that happened in this first game, you don't get a single objective, you're falling behind, nothing's working. It's all an Upset. And honestly, I have more. I'll dive into a little further after you get to say what you want to say. But I just wanted to get those key moments out where I felt Humanoid was absolutely dog-walking Vladdy at the beginning. I didn't think Vladdy had a bad series, but I definitely thought Humanoid was getting the better of him in this game one laning phase. And his team does absolutely nothing with it. And he's getting blamed while Upset, the guy who literally inted the first kill after Mickey X finds a perfect engage, I did not see a single negative or derogatory comment towards him. Why? Why is everyone just talking about the mid jungle and no synergy? Why is no one talking about bot support and how they have no synergy?
Can I speak?
Yeah, go for it,
You
bro.
good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you're completely missing the mark by placing the blame on Upset, the 80K. Because when you look at the game, for around the first 22 minutes of the game, it was roughly close. I understand what, honestly, with your point about, he auto-attacked the minion. While frustrating, I'm sure, as a Fnatic fan as you seem to be, that didn't really change the flow of the game. One kill doesn't necessarily change the game. I know the impact, but I don't think he decided the game. But what I see,
he plays on TM.
What I
he's
see
on Team Liquid.
is on. Huh?
He's on Team Liquid. Impact.
What did I say?
You said Impact. I'm just saying. We're talking about the LEC.
Yeah. Okay. 22 minutes. The game is relatively close. I say KC has a slight lead. What do we see? What I think you saw, and what probably made this whole Upset slander narrative begin, is Upset get caught and Mickey X. They're in the enemy bot side jungle near KC's red buff. They're looking to make a play, and they absolutely get caught by Yike on his Wukong. They catch them out, and then what does KC do? This wasn't necessarily Fnatic choking game 1. This is KC seeing opportunity and just jamming right through it. So they catch out Upset, they chunk Mickey X, then they go mid, they dive them at the tier 1 to absolutely destroy them. I think they pick up 3-4 kills. This is the exact moment the game got blown wide open. I understand.
This game one?
Game 1, 22 minutes. Check the tape.
Okay.
You looking at me like I'm going crazy, like I'm a schizo.
No, I was focused more on the early laning phase. You could
exactly. I understand. I think you are overreacting to the early game. You're obsessing on it. You're missing the forest for the trees. Because you look at the mid game, you see Yike completely outplaying Razor. Razor ain't doing shit. Yike making plays, big playmaker. He gets that catch, and they hit the tier 1 hard, and absolutely, after that point, for me, the game was over. And everyone could feel it too, because it's a momentum shifter. Game's kind of close in gold, close in kills, and then boom, KC busts the game wide open. So game 1, that's clearly to me, Razor getting completely outclassed by Yike. And then, yeah, I agree with you. If you want, my humanoid hate and my slander, if you will, that will come more game 2, specifically game 3. But game 1, you can't really blame humanoid. I would say mostly to the Yike masterclass, to be honest.
No, I agree with humanoid game 3. I think he was tilted by then. He's like, we're down 0-2 to these. What's happening here? It's minus 130 for KC to win the series. So, of course, I'm not saying you're supposed to win the series. But to get 3-0'd, I think he was just tilted at that point. And I don't really remember, we were talking about the dub, and I was like, I don't really count your performance against bench players. Humanoid game 3 tilted after his 80 carry. Remember, they played around Upset. You could tell by the draft. You could tell by how they're playing. Everything was on Upset the first 2 games. You horrendously fail at doing anything useful. So game 3, what do? They stick him on Ezreal. Now they give Humanoid the Yone, but at that point he's tilted. He's like, okay, hey man, you dog water 80 carry. Let me just try to take over the game. We've all been there. We're like, man, this guy can't do anything. Let me try to take over.
And then you fail. We've all been there, but we're solo queue play. This guy's getting a paycheck. And is it so much to ask for one of your best players to control the emotions in a series deciding game?
Dude, is it so much to ask for my 80 carry to actually do damage? And you're telling me I'm over fixating on the early game? I could sort of see that if we weren't playing Kalista versus Draven. Like, these are early game comps, and the early game matters a lot for how these games are going to play out. And man, I didn't even get into all the inting they did. You were talking about Yike. I do agree. I think Yike is the best player on Karman Core.
No,
I thought that before the season, before this game, whenever you want to say it. I thought he had an amazing game 1. The one time Humanoid messes up versus Vladi one-on-one, Vladi chunks him heavily. What does Yike do? Go to the Raptor wall, W over, flash for flash, kill Humanoid. And then later, Vladi is getting caught by Mickey X. Mickey X, again, I thought he was great game 1.
He was.
So he catches Vladi out. Upset, does it fine. He's doing damage. But then on the final auto attack, as he's killing Vladi, he clicks towards the bottom river. And the reason this is an issue is because Dragon is about to spawn. And everything that's been happening for the minute before this Mickey X catch, it's pretty obvious that Fnatic is about to lose another Dragon. KC feels like it's theirs. Fnatic should feels like it's KC's. And so obviously, KC should be bot side. And none of the top side wards show anybody. Like, you have no reason to believe KC is top side. So it might seem like I'm picking on him, but it's like, dude, you cannot move towards bot side, because what happens when he clicks towards bot side is Nautilus throws a max range Q, hits Yike once again, smurfing. He goes in, he's like, no, I got this. Even though we're down numbers, I got this. And he goes in and he kills Mickey X and Upset. So now you get 2 kills back. You're not even sad that Vladi got caught. And that Dragon that Mickey X was trying to get you for free, now it's still difficult to get. And just in general, like, I didn't see any damage coming out of Upset. He had a gold lead in that game 1. He did nothing. Game 2, he had Desire. He did nothing. Game 3, yeah, you want to talk about Flaming Humanoid. Bro, they had 14 kills at 13 minutes, and Upset's KP is like 3 out of 14. They're literally saying, bro, we can't trust you to come to these fights. You're not on time. Your tempo isn't there. You can't carry these fights. We just need you to go hold the lane. And by the way, go ahead.
I feel like, but the things you're saying, they may be true, but the game was lost before Upset even had a chance to output the damage. What I'm saying,
in game 1,
because game 1, what I'm saying, that game was busted open and basically over at that example that I'm citing. Like, he got caught, which I understand, but I credit that more towards Yike's playmaking more than anything else. And then Karman Core just didn't take the foot off the gas, because after they get those kills, after they take your tier 1, they just start to control the map and they don't let off pressure. So I can't really blame Upset for not dealing damage after that point, because him and his team are getting bodied.
Well, no, that's exactly my issue with the Kalista versus the Wukong. Wukong gets so naturally tanky. I felt that they needed to win the game in the first 15 to 18 minutes. Not that the other team didn't have pressure on them too. There's a Draven and you have a Victor. But all the mistakes Upset made cost us like 2 dragons, cost us grubs. It just completely killed all early tempo, and that's why I'm putting the blame on him. For the series, though, I will say, besides Upset, I think Oscarina needs to be talked about more.
Really?
I don't understand why this guy is still on Fnatic. I don't know why they're keeping him. He is the second worst player on the team to me. And it's not like a giant margin. It's not like he's trash. But stylistically, he doesn't make sense to me. Because game 3, they put Upset on Ezreal, right? You put Humanoid on Yone. Okay, cool. You're trying to have him carry. Who's your top laner? Ornn. You cannot have an herbivore 80 carry that doesn't do damage, and then also have an herbivore top laner who either wants to play tank or a bruiser and just doesn't really do much. His Rumble game 2, he goes Merc Tread's first item. I'm not blaming the build or anything, but it's like you watch him play and you watch his Rumble and you watch Kana Rumble or you watch any good Asian Rumble, he's not doing damage. There's just no damage being done. Game 1, what did he play? Was it Sion? Yeah, he's playing Sion. Kana on Jace. He's picking like a counter pick so that Kana can't just like walk him down. He's getting team support. They're blowing Kana's flash. They're doing everything they can to make this guy go even. What did he do? The only play I remember is when he Sion ulti to try and interrupt Nautilus hook. He failed, by the way. So Nautilus got away and then got stunned, but that means the team couldn't DPS him, so they couldn't kill him, so they couldn't get a free dragon. Like, the only highlight I remember of Oscarvin and Sion isn't even a highlight. Rumble, I just remember him doing 0 damage. I don't remember a single good ulti. And then game 3, he's on the Ornn.
So game 2, I'll give you the game 1 and game 3. He was absolutely invisible. But game 2, if you recall, it was I think somewhere in around the 20-minute range. It's after KC. They've blown the game wide open. They're ahead. But Oscarvin did orchestrate some sort of a comeback attempt. They're at Otacon, and he has a fantastic Rumble R. He just zoned up the entire KC team. He steals at Otacon, and he gets a shutdown on Yike. Yeah. So that, if they were going to have a chance, if we were going to talk about the series differently, if we were going to talk about game 2 differently, we would be singing Oscar Winning's praises. So I think you have to give him credit for that. Like, for me, I feel like you're not getting enough shade to Razor. I think that's clearly the issue here. You got completely outclassed. But did you feel like,
I agree they got outclassed, but did you feel like it was like Yikes is solid and Razork is trash, or did you feel like Razork's okay, but Yike is just playing crazy?
Honestly, I felt like Razor if Oscar went invisible, Razor felt invisible too, and that's why I don't blame Upset. Like Mickey X, I think he had a solid series. I'm not really blaming him, but at the 80 carry, in terms of what your team can do, you're kind of limited by your playmakers, your top, your mid, your jungle. And top, we've talked about. Mid, I'll give you some leeway at game 1, but I think game 3, like you say he was tilted. Yeah, I say he got blasted. And then finally we come to Razor versus he just looked terrible. So game 1, I think he just got outclassed by I would say he was like okay. Yike was just fantastic.
Game 1, I think he got griefed by his 80 carry.
Okay, sure. But game 2, that's
the Skarner game?
Because that Skarner game was terrible. Because if I bring your attention to this, I think it was around 14 minutes. This is when the game is still sort of close. KC's coming away with it, like they're ahead, but it's still very much anyone's game. Then what do we see? In the mid game, okay, so I think Dragon was just recently taken by KC. And KC's going toward the mid lane. Fnatic is matching them. Okay, and this is Mickey X, the Chad that he is. He flashes R's triple man charm knockup. Okay. Oscar comes with the Rumble R. Where's Razor? Where could our Skarner jungle be? I could really appreciate a Skarner ult right now, or literally anything. He's behind the play. What about Upset being behind the play? My man Razor was clicking down. He's like, oh shit. Mickey X, my guy, he's making a play. Let me come. It's too late.
Yeah.
So, where was he at mentally?
No, that game 2 was. I feel he was tilted after game 1. Which that's not excusable.
Exactly, that's not excusable. Exactly. It's still, I say you're mentally slow. It is what it is.
Well, no, but he's known to be a very emotional player. Okay. You can say it's inexcusable, but I'm like sure he was tilted.
Okay, he was tilted. Okay, but still.
Yeah. So
they go down. So first game, outclassed. Okay, it is what it is. Like, charge to the game. Game 2, your blue side. You can definitely get this win. Razor just completely not in it at all. He fumbles a great opportunity found by Mickey X. So you lose game 2 because it flips and it turns KC get like 4 or 5 kills. And they I misconstrued the situation a little bit. Then we got 2 or 3 kills. But then like 1 minute after, Razor gets caught out and dies.
Was that the Scuttle Crab?
Yeah, the Scuttle Crab. Exactly.
No, that was so greedy.
Exactly. And so at that point, the game's busted wide open. Yep. So then game 2, I'll blame the Razor. And then game 3, this is your chance to try to make a comeback. You're trying to make a comeback. And then the game was kind of close. And this is the theme for the entire series. the game's kind of close. Like KC a little ahead, but like one good team fight and it's anyone's game
for sure.
And then every time that team fight occurred, every time that opportunity came knocking at Fnatic's door, they were, I don't know, they passed out off the weed. I don't know what it was. Like, they did not deliver at all. And so that example in game 3, game's kind of close, and Humanoid gets solo killed top lane by Vladi.
Yeah, that was the only game I felt like Vladi.
Straight solo kill by Z. Like, his team's coming, he didn't need it. He went Zhonya's, then he just bodied him. It was, like, at that point, Fnatic was over. It was done.
Yeah.
So, but each scenario I'm listing, each example where Fnatic failed to meet the moment, you could blame Upset because he didn't do anything, but before he could do anything, one of his teammates entered.
Well, no,
mainly the mid jungle.
And game 2 and game 3, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Game 1, the reason I'm harping on it is because that's what everyone always says. What can you do as an AD carry if your team griefs you? We see it in solo queue, we see it in team play, and I understand that to some extent because the AD carry doesn't have CC. They're fragile. But these game 1 mistakes I'm talking about, no, it's not like if. As an AD carry, that's all on you.
That
if
was
your
your
jungler is near the dragon, and you're like, yo, I gotta back, I gotta go top. That wave is like, 500 units away from my... Bro, it's like, nothing's happening. You can get this Drake and go. So that's why I'm so gung-ho on game 1. Yeah, I agree, game 2, game 3. What is an AD carry gonna do when his team is inting? And I will say an interesting thing you sort of bring up is, if you think about it your way, a different player choked in each game. Like you get Upset game 1, Razor game 2, Humanoid game 3.
I didn't say Upset game 1, but I agree with you on game 2.
Yeah, well, you take mine
3.
and I'll combine it with yours. That's sort of how you would blame the team. And I think it's fair to say because I think what happened was game 1, you go in neutral. Upset, to me, is the worst player, so he's the most likely to just be bad and mess up. But then you do have this issue. If you want to flame Humanoid and Razor, they actually have great synergy. They both tilt.
Yeah.
They both struggle to overcome their teammates' inting. Yeah. And I think that would sort of explain why this Fnatic team has struggled for years. Is like, I don't actually think Humanoid is that bad. But I think when they do one of those 10,000 gold lead throws, he's like, it's over. Like, it's over. He's cussing, like, and it's over, And then Razor, he's the one getting cussed at. He's like, oh, man, it's another choke. Like, and then that can snowball. But for me, I just want to say Targamas was the only player that I felt was, like, worse than their opposition. Like, I thought Mickey X clearly outplayed Targamas, and I don't think Targamas is bad. I remember when people were calling for this guy to be sent back to LFL because his AD carry was someone way worse than Kalist, and I was like, no, they have to keep him. Like, he's perfectly fine support, so I'm happy that worked out for him. But Mickey X, he's the shining light for this Fnatic team, but man, I don't know. Like, how are they ever going to win a chip? They need to completely rehaul this team, and I just don't. The ownership doesn't really seem to want to.
Yeah, some people have been talking about that. This team, like, they can't win with these cats, basically.
Yeah, you just got to build around Mickey X, in my opinion. That's what I think. You need to build around Mickey X because who else on this roster are you saving besides Mickey X? I think casuals would say Upset, and I think they're wrong. This guy's not that good. I don't know what people are, like. He doesn't even do damage. If there was like a bad AD carry that people were glazing for no reason, I would think it's someone like Flocket, remember? Like sort of does high damage, has like high crazy moments, but maybe dies too much, is a little dumb. Or Crowny. People used to glaze him for the same reasons. I don't understand why people like Upset, but I swear to God, this guy does not do damage. He does not carry. All he knows how to do is keep his KDA up. His micro, when he came into the league, maybe it was like above average or great in the league. His micro's not even looking good, so I'm just not with him. But yeah, this is embarrassing. To get 3-0'd in this fashion, you had to take at least one win, and they just couldn't. But I will say Koi are bigger frauds. Like,
you're already talking about next series. You're already ready.
Well, yeah, first of all, KC are playing versus them, and KC are going to stomp them. But I saw some people on Reddit talking about how KC, they really like that. They come in, and they immediately are putting up some real competition for G2. Because Fnatic was the competition, but they never won, right? But I saw some people were like, now we just need Koi to become the third best team, and then Fnatic will really learn their lesson. Koi is not the third best team, bro. They went and got JoJo for mid lane. Like, you imported a bad mid laner.
It does. Yeah, I think you're underrated.
No, they got second all-pro. That's trash, man. The LEC is probably the region where their player evaluation is the worst.
Really?
Like, their media evaluation, their GM's evaluation, that there's nothing there. Like, honestly, it's insane how little they understand what they're working with. And a lot of these rosters are just lucking into what they're working with. But I guess that's a separate point.
Yeah, it seems like a separate video.
But yeah, man, I'm blaming Upset. Blame him. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the summary for me.
Yeah, I feel you can't really put in an upset, especially when 2 out of 3. We agree that 2 out of 3 of the games you cannot blame.
Well, he wasn't good in any 3 though.
Well, yeah.
In any of the 3, he was bad. He was outclassed in every game.
Like I think if you swap upset and Callist, I think KC still win.
No,
Like, it's all about the team around you.
No, I think Fnatic win with Callist as their AD carry.
Really?
Yes, Callist, Mickey X, that's cooking. 100%. And if Fnatic are dumb enough to let go of Mickey X for any reason, KC should be looking at that. I think Mickey X is the best support in the league.